Well, hi. Welcome to the St. Arnold Lab for another edition of Lab Notes. I'm Dr. Drew.
And I'm Jessie.
And today we're going to be talking about malt.
Here we have a couple different varieties of malt. Malt itself is germinated grain that has been dried. The outside of a grain of malt is the bran, which is an outer protective shell, also called the husk. Inside there's the endosperm, which provides growth nutrients, as well as the germ, which provides vitamins and antioxidants.
So the origins of beer date back to 3800 BC, but may go back even farther to about 12,000, 15,000 BC. Cereal grains were a great agricultural product and possibly the foundation of civilization because dried grain actually stores relatively well. And then after storage, it can be soaked and promote germination, and it increases consumability, and it's likely that these early soaks were contaminated with wild yeast or bacteria, and that's the origins of beer as we know it today.
80 to 100% of a malt bill for a particular beer will consist of base malt. This is malt that is able to ferment their own sugars from their own starch on their own. This is called having a high diastatic power. And it's important to have this base because if you don't have these initial fermentable sugars, you'll be left with a sweet beer with a low alcohol content. Nobody wants that. In addition to base malts, there are also specialty malts. These are malts that have been heated to a higher temperature to impart different flavors and aromas. These can include caramel, toffee, coffee, and chocolate. And they also add body and head retention to the final beer.
So from a recipe standpoint, Lawnmower and Santo are actually pretty similar beers with a notable addition of Munich and Carafa to give Santo espresso and chocolate notes. Unlike hops, which can be added at various steps along the process to give different bitterness or aroma contributions, malts are typically all added up front with minor tweaks to mashing time or boiling time for small alterations. But that'll be a topic for another day. So that's all we have today for malt, and thank you for joining us for another edition of Lab Notes, and we'll see you next time.
Cheers.
Cheers.